Now at 10, Father's Day turns tragic for two families. Drownings claiming 3 lives. The warning before heading out to a reservoir coming up in a live report. And a new voting bill reaches the Senate and it's getting some pushback tonight. Can it protect Americans' access to voting? Plus, snow in June. We'll take a look back at a summer that saw just that. The tale that's worth watching.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News at 10 starts now.
Happy Sunday evening. I'm Jason Wynn. I'm filling in for Nick McGurk, who has the night off. Thanks for joining us for the ABC4 News at 10. Let's get right to it. 4 people are dead following water incidents in the last 4 days. 3 of those lives lost during Father's Day. Officials say 3 people drowned at Deer Creek Reservoir, the 4th at Pineview Reservoir. That's where we find ABC4's Jordan Burroughs live for us tonight. Jordan, what are witnesses telling you at Pineview?
Jason, here at Pineview Reservoir, the witnesses that I spoke to said what happened here out on the reservoir was horrific. A father died after trying to attempt to swim out to his son. He was 37 years old. Also earlier today at Deer Creek Reservoir, a couple died after drowning. The husband was 72 years old, the wife 59 years old. Also on Thursday afternoon at Deer Creek Reservoir as well, a 17-year-old died. Lieutenant Eric Stuckey with the Utah State Parks Department says no matter what your age is, it is still important to keep in mind water safety while you're out on the reservoirs. For most people and their families, it's a getaway activity, visiting the lakes and reservoirs throughout the state for recreation.
For our family, it was sad to see Life Flight have to come in and land.
The Roylance family says they witnessed a recovery effort, hoping it was a rescue effort. A father died after going out to swim to his son.
The family that suffered a loss, that's all that matters. None of the other stuff matters. Doesn't matter why it happened or how it happened.
Peggy Roylance and her husband, along with their 6 kids, saw what happened.
We realize the situation. It's heartbreaking to see a family have to go through that, have to lose a loved one, and so I feel bad for the family.
That family saw their 37-year-old father drown.
Our hearts go out, especially when we have weeks like this where so many families are grieving for the losses that they've had.
Another family suffered a loss after a day in the water at Deer Creek Reservoir. A couple from Arizona died after going underwater and falling unconscious. The woman was 59 years old and her husband 72.
But a lot of these losses that these couples suffer with, we can learn from these experiences. We can learn from what other people have gone through and what they've done.
Lieutenant Eric Stuckey has more than 20 years of experience with the Utah State Parks. He says there are going to be more and more incidents throughout bodies of water in Utah as the state gets more populated. He says people need flotation devices. They need to know their own swimming abilities, keep in mind the currents, and watch their alcohol intake. He says hazards will always exist, but people need to do their best to self-monitor. Within the last half hour, officials have identified that couple that drowned in Deer Creek Reservoir. They've been identified as Catherine McMillan and David McMillan. Officials say neither of them were wearing life jackets. Reporting live outside of Pine Creek Reservoir, Jordan Burroughs, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Jordan. We're learning the cause of the Morgan Canyon fire was a plane crash in the Desert Creek Wilderness Thursday night. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, 2 people died in the crash. How the plane went down, it's still under investigation. The fire is mapped out at 37 acres with 0% containment. The NTSB and Tooele County Sheriff's Office are working on this investigation. Now to the latest on some of the wildfires burning across our state. We're going to begin with the newest fire burning in Grand County. The fire started this morning and is situated at the southern end of Book Cliffs Mountain Range. Now, officials say lightning started the fire that's burning in an inaccessible terrain. Air Resources are working to put that fire out. The flat fire consumed more than 14,400 acres. It's the largest fire in the state. The fire is burning an area between Iron and Washington counties. Earlier today, the fire endangered 53 cattle in the area. All of them have been relocated. The flat fire is contained at 15%. And down by Pack Creek Fire near Moab, the officials there tell us, quote, it was a very successful day. Containment for that fire jumped from 44 to 58%. Firefighters were able to keep growth to just about 11 acres, keeping the fire burning to less than 9,000 acres. And we turn to we're 2 weeks away from July 4th. It's a good holiday, and fireworks are a major concern for first responders and local officials. Monday, Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson will urge residents not to set off fireworks. County officials are urging residents to find another way to celebrate the nation and the state holidays this July. Officials will tell us about firework restrictions and firework safety in Salt Lake County at 10 a.m. Monday. Now let's head over to our pinpoint weather forecast. Caesar, it seemed a lot cooler today, which felt like a really good thing.
Yeah, Jason, it was definitely slightly cooler than what we saw yesterday. 96 degrees at the airport, 70 so far for our low. Yesterday was 100 degrees, so a lot nicer compared to yesterday and some of the week prior. But temperatures throughout most of the Beehive State were still in the 90s and triple digits. Take a look at that. A lot of triple digits over towards southern and central Utah. Mid-90s for a few areas too. And because of all of that heat, we even see some of the sidewalks buckling. This one was sent in by Wayne Hendrickson over in Sandy. Take a look at that. That is not great, and that's just due to all of this heat that we continue to see. Also, smoke has progressively become a little bit on the thicker side. Well, it's a little bit more on the lighter side for parts of central and southern Utah. We'll see exactly what else we can expect going into the work week coming up in Utah's most accurate forecast. Over to you, Jason.
Thank you, Caesar. Now we're going to turn to Box Elder County next, where deputies tell us one inmate died while in their custody. Officials say 50-year-old Thomas Jeffrey Johnston was experiencing detox symptoms. Now, he was taken to a nearby hospital where he died. Johnston was arrested 3 days ago on outstanding warrants. Cache County Sheriff's Office is now investigating that death. And fire crews are investigating a 2-alarm fire in Salt Lake City. The fire claiming 3 structures and taking down a number of power lines. The fire started around 2:30 this afternoon near 1100 South Mission Road. One shed caught fire before igniting a second shed nearby. Crews say flying embers then set a third shed on fire.
So we had 3 sheds on fire. We had numerous power lines down. Our crews were very aggressive, and we're able to put it out here in a matter of about 15 minutes.
Rocky Mountain Power is still working to restore power to the affected customers in that area. No one was hurt during the fire, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. And great news for the folks in Mapleton. The boil water order is lifted. City officials say the drinking water warning is now restored because residents were under that boil water order just for a few days because earlier this week, chloroform and E. coli were discovered in some of the city's water supply before it was treated. Samples across the city since are coming back clean. And a live look tonight in Washington, D.C. It's beautiful, where the Senate, they're going to take up a new bill on Monday, which Democrats say will protect Americans' access to voting. Washington correspondent Basil John, he reports.
What we are trying to do is preserve democracy.
On CNN's State of the Union, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders says Congress needs to stop Republican efforts in the states, which Democrats say will prevent minorities from voting.
Taking away the right of people to participate in American democracy is unacceptable, and the Congress must address that in any and every way.
The Senate this week should take up a Democrat voting bill which expands ballot access and tightens controls on campaign spending.
It's the biggest power grab in the history of the country.
But on Fox News Sunday, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham attacked the Democrats' bill.
They're trying to fix a problem most Republicans have a different view of.
Even West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin has some problems with the bill. He's proposed his own compromise. Manchin's bill would require voter ID, a Republican proposition, and make Election Day a holiday, an idea that Democrats applaud. But Republicans like Ohio Senator Rob Portman told NBC's Meet the Press Congress should stay out of states' election laws.
Unfortunately, what he does is what the larger bill S1 does, which is it takes the election system in this country and federalizes it.
Portman says Republicans will not support Manchin's version, as states should control their elections. The Senate should start debate on the voting rights bill on Tuesday. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Thank you, Basil. New tonight, an income study done by the McKinsey & Company shows about 3.5 million African American families have negative net worth in the United States. The study claims it's due to discriminatory policies of the U.S. government and private companies, adding nearly 4.3 million black families have a net worth of less than $10,000. African American workers make up 12.9% of the nation's workforce, but earn only 9.6% of the total U.S. wages, according to this study. And we're going to turn to another study here. A new study shows Utah is about in the middle of the road for contemporary dads. Many fathers taking on more children roles and care duties, and they're working from home. Many families, many of the dads now are in their traditional roles are outdated. At the top of the list was Massachusetts. Wallet Hub ranked Utah number 30 based on economics, work-life balance, and child care, among others. Meanwhile, Nevada, our neighbor to the west, they're ranked last. And coming up, is it raining? No, it's snowing. That is snow. Coming up, we'll have a look back at the time where it snowed in June. It's a tale that's definitely worth watching.